It's like, how dare you? Do you know how much effort I put into this presentation? I've been practicing this script for a month now. How dare you say no to me? How dare you not listen to me? So you send out some cold emails and you get a reply back like, please remove me from your list, or I'm not interested, or much worse, as you can see in this example here. What do you do when that happens? The answer is extremely simple. You unsubscribe them, you remove them from your list, and then you email someone else. I mean, I don't really need to do a video to explain this, but I get this question so much that I thought I would. And the reason people ask, number one, is they're not used to rejection. And that's ultimately what it is. When someone says they're not interested, when someone asks to unsubscribe, they're not used to handling rejection. Number two is because they have a false sense of entitlement, for lack of a better word. They expect that I put in all this effort, I wrote up this email, I did some research, I put in effort, and they didn't respond, and they should respond to me. I put in some effort here, I personalized this email, I did some research, I'm adding value to them, and they can't see my value, right? And another way of putting this would be a lack of empathy. And they don't really understand that you're emailing them, you're interrupting them, you're trying to get something from them, right? They're not seeing that you're adding value to them. Sure, you're trying to add value. Sure, you're attempting to go in there with some value to get their interest first. But ultimately, you're interrupting their day. You're interrupting them in their business. They're trying to work, they're trying to grow the business, and you're interrupting them saying, hey, would you like to buy SEO? Now, you may angle this better. You may go in there with, hey, here's a free video explaining some value. Here's some free tips. Here's some free advice. But you're still interrupting their day and you're still trying to sell them something. And they know that, right? That's why I go with a very direct approach where it's just like, hey, this is an SEO pitch, an SEO pitch inside, right? Because I want to go so direct because I know I'm interrupting their day. I have empathy, I have understanding that I'm interrupting their day. And I'm just gonna go direct so they know what it is. And because it stands out, because everyone else is trying to go in there with this like fake approach where it's like, I'm trying to add value, but really I'm trying to add value with intent to sell to you. And that isn't really the same as just going in there just directly adding value, you know? Have you ever had someone before that pretends to be your best friend? They pretend to be the nicest person in the world for you. They really care about you. They're super, super nice, super, super friendly to you because you know they want something out of you. The problem is that you can see right through it because you know, yeah, you're pretending to be nice to me, but you can see they want something. And even if they actually mean it, even if they actually are the nicest person in the world, even if this is how they always act, because you know they want something out of you, you can't see past the fact that this is probably fake. They're probably doing this because they have the intent to get whatever the heck that thing is, right? Well, the same thing is with your emails. If you're emailing someone with the intent to sell them SEO or Facebook ads or whatever it is, they can see that. It doesn't matter if your first email is, here's a video audit, here's a case study, here's a piece of value. They know that the reason you are doing that is because you want to sell to them. So does that mean you shouldn't cold email? Does that mean you shouldn't go in there with the intent to sell to them? No, because that's gonna happen regardless. You're selling SEO services, you want them to buy your SEO services. But what you should do is you should just remember that fact, that you're going in there with intent to sell to them. So when they tell you, I'm not interested, when they tell you, please unsubscribe me, when they tell you to get lost, then you have some empathy, you have some understanding for why they're doing that, because they do not owe you anything. It doesn't matter that you put in some effort, you did some research, you're pretending to be their friend, you're pretending to add value. You're actually adding value, but you're adding value with intent to sell to them. So even if they can see the value, they're still in their right to say they're not interested. And even if you add in value and you're interrupting them with no intent, which you're not, they still have a right because you're still approaching them with this. They still have a right to say that they're not interested. So when someone says, I don't want this, unsubscribe me, stop emailing me, and you're thinking, well, I added value first, they're still completely within their right to tell you that they're not interested. And that is it. The point is, they don't owe you anything, and if someone says no, the solution is simple. It's not to try and email them. It's not to try and change their mind. You're not going to change someone's mind. The answer is to send more emails. The problem isn't that they said they're not interested. The problem is that you got attached to the fact that they said they're not interested. Who cares if someone doesn't want your services? There are millions upon millions upon millions of businesses out there. So if one company, if one person says they're not interested, email another. It's that simple. I really don't understand this, and maybe it's the fact that I've been in business for a while now, and I get it. I get it that it's annoying when people email you and interrupt your day and try and sell you stuff and want something from you, and I get it that it's a numbers game and most people will say no. It doesn't matter how much effort you put into it. You'll put in that effort to try and get their attention. The fact that you got their attention and they said they're not interested, that's fine. At least you got their attention. It's a heck of a lot better when they reply and say not interested than it is when they don't reply at all. So I'm happy if they say they're not interested. And if someone emails me something like get lost, I think it's kind of funny that at least I got their attention and I know, and okay, let's move on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And it's just a game. It's really just a game, and just hitting those numbers. And as long as people aren't interested, it's only a matter of time before you find that person that is interested. Now, the other thing is if I put in all this effort, I kind of feel bad that they don't respond. I kind of feel bad that I don't get interest out of them. And look guys, again, it's a numbers game. It doesn't matter. I've sent so far 7 video audits now in this new email campaign, this new agency, and I landed out of that directly 1 single client. Now there's 2 clients, 3 in a way, but only 1 of them came from a video audit out of 7 video audits. Out of the rest of them, only 5 of them actually responded. You know, I sent the video audits out, I recorded a 15-minute video, adding value, I paid someone to research for this video, I sent the video to them, and they didn't even bother to respond. Now, am I sitting here unhappy, angry, crying about this? No, I just follow up and then email more people. And it doesn't matter to me if they don't respond. That's completely within their right. You know, I'm not forcing them to respond because I'm interrupting them. Sure, I'm trying to add value to them, but I'm trying to add value to them again with the intent of selling to them. So it's completely within their right. Even if I wasn't doing it with intent, it's completely within their right to decide that they are not interested, and that's fine. The only thing that wouldn't be fine is that if I decided that that isn't okay. It's like if you go up to a stranger on the street and you talk to them, it's perfectly fine for that person to say, go away, I'm not interested, right? Could you imagine someone comes up to try and sell to you on the street and they get offended that you say you're not interested? They come up to you and they try and sell you something, you're like, nah, I'm busy, please go away, or something like that. And you could be rude, you can be polite, whatever, it doesn't matter. Could you imagine they got offended? It's like, how dare you? Do you know how much effort I put into this presentation? I've been practicing this script for a month now. How dare you say no to me? How dare you not listen to me? You just look at them like they're a nutcase. Yet we're doing the same thing with cold emails, where we put some effort into the pitch, we try and add value. And I hear people say, well, the client, the prospect, they don't understand the value I'm offering. They're an idiot for not seeing this. And what is the reason there? Well, it's one of 2 things. Number 1 is your inability to communicate. That is not the prospect's fault. If you have something that is an absolute no-brainer and the prospect doesn't see that, then you failed to communicate with that. So that is your fault. And the other part of that is that it may not actually be the no-brainer you're thinking of it as. So SEO is a no-brainer. Hiring me is a no-brainer for any business if, and there's a big if they trust me and trust what I'm offering and trust that I actually deliver what I'm saying I will deliver. Because a lot of people say they can do SEO. A lot of people say they can do Facebook ads. A lot of people say they can get a 5x ROI, whatever it is. Not very many people can actually deliver on the thing they are promising. So it's okay to say it's a no-brainer if, here's the big hurdle here, if they trust you to actually do what you say you're going to do, which most people don't, so it's not really the no-brainer that it sounds like. And again, on top of that, it's still within their right to say no, because they probably don't trust you anyway, you probably communicated it badly anyway, and even if it's a no-brainer, they're still within their right to say no, and it doesn't matter if they say no. Okay, it doesn't matter whatsoever, just send more emails and offer it to more people. But in most cases, if they say no and you're thinking, this is a no-brainer, this is an obvious deal they should take, it's probably because you didn't communicate it well enough, and that's something you need to work on. That's your copywriting skills, that's your sales skills, that's something you need to personally work on. And the other factors is that they don't trust you in most cases anyway, so if you're just making a promise, there's no real reason to trust you. If someone says to you, just take this pill and you're gonna be in the best shape of your life within 10 minutes, you're not gonna trust them. Now, sure, SEO is believable, it's something that can actually happen, but everyone says they can do it. You know, everyone is an SEO expert, everyone is a digital marketing expert, everyone says they can do this, but how many people can actually deliver? The whole idea behind video audits and things like that is that it's a way of showing trust. It's a way of establishing trust. It's a way of showing them that, hey, I know everyone says they can do SEO, but here's how we'll actually do it. Here's something that shows that I actually know what I'm talking about. So the point of this video is, don't get so hung up on it. That's it. Don't get so hung up on rejection. Who cares if someone doesn't like you, if someone isn't interested in you, if someone doesn't buy from you? It doesn't matter whatsoever, because there's a ton of people, there's a ton of businesses out there, and the only thing that is going to screw you up is when you're sitting there and you're reading this email and someone says, please unsubscribe me, please don't email me, go away, something like that, and you're getting hurt from that. You're reading those emails and you're deciding that, oh, this isn't working, I'm getting rejected, then that's what's going to hold you back, nothing else, because you're going to read that and you're going to feel hurt, you're going to feel negative, and it's going to stop you sending more emails. I get more rejections than I do approvals, for lack of a better word, right? Leads. More people say no, more people say unsubscribe, more people say go away, get lost, than you do say I'm interested, send over this video. So as long as you know that, when you see someone reply saying get lost and unsubscribe me and stop emailing me, then you can say, okay, this is awesome. This is great because I'm getting leads now. I'm getting responses. And that is step one. And then after enough rejections, you will find someone that responds positively. Now, like with anything in life, this is balance. If every single lead you get always is negative, you probably did something wrong. If every single person is very toxic or negative, your subject line is probably misleading or something like that. If every single person responds saying unsubscribe and you never get a decent lead, again, we're talking a decent volume of unsubscribes, maybe 10, 20 of them, and you haven't had a single positive lead, then there's probably something wrong. But it's balanced because you still need those unsubscribes. I don't know how many unsubscribes we had now. Obviously, we had 7 video audits, at least 10 people, if not more, I didn't count, have unsubscribed because I don't care, you know? I don't know the number because I don't care, it doesn't matter to me, it's normal. If someone says unsubscribe, I unsubscribe them from the campaign, we never email them again, and then I move on and the campaign keeps sending and sending and sending. So just don't get attached to it. It doesn't matter if they don't want to receive emails from you. There's nothing to be hurt over. It is just a numbers game. So when it happens, move on, send more emails, and be done with it. Focus on what you can control. What you can control is how many emails you send. What you can control is how good your email copy is. What you can control is how effective, how helpful, how valuable your video is. Focus on what you can control. Don't focus on what you can't control. You can't control how many people respond with interest. You can focus on the email copy. You can't actually control how many people respond with interest. You can focus on who you email. You can't control how many respond with interest. You get my point here? If they respond saying they're not interested, well, you can't control that. You're not going to change someone's mind here. You just, okay, accept that. What can I improve? Can I improve the prospect list I'm emailing? Can I improve my copy? Can I improve my video? If not, you most likely can, but if not, then just keep sending it more and more and more. And just because you have someone say they're not interested or get lost doesn't mean you did something wrong. It's just, again, a numbers game. So the point above all else is click the like button and make sure you just keep sending emails. It's that simple.